Hello folks, welcome back. This is your old pal Hondo doing another knife review for you and a ferroceruim rod review. This is the ferroceruim rod in question. What we're going to review is the Bear Grylls polymer survival type of ferroceruim rod. It has a whistle right here and a lanyard. It's got a pretty good, decent rescue whistle on it. It has a lanyard on it. You have to slide it down. This is the ferroceruim rod in question. It has a nice little striker and a 1.8 millimeter size ferro rod. Very small. It has a nice little hideaway in the back right here for tender storage, so you could renew this tender storage in here. It comes with a little cotton ball wax fire starter already with it. We're not going to try that, but it's supposed to be waterproof. Has this little rubber gasket seal around it, so it stays waterproof in the field. And the striker on this and the really second well. Review we're going to do on the Condor bushfloor survival knife, bushcraft knife. I stuck a lanyard so I can put it around my neck and wear it as a neck knife. This is the blade. This is the sheath first. Comes with two nice rivets, and it's horse stitch saddle stitched, or whatever they call that, and it's got a really thick leather on it. Really nice quality leather. The bush floor is a newer model. This is the newer model. The older model had the black enamel coating. This is the silver enamel coating, and it has a laser etched bush floor insignia and condor on both sides. The country of origin of this knife is El Salvador. It has a walnut, I think a South American walnut type of handle. 1075 carbon steel. Has a nice scanty grind right here. Has a nice 90-degree spine. It's about 1/8 inch thick. It's full tang. Has a lanyard loop, and it seems to be an okay knife. I've been using it over the past week. It's alright. It's not the best knife I've ever used in the field, but it works. First, we want to test the capability of this. This is about an 8-inch knife overall in length. I forgot to put the length in. And brass pins. There's two of them. And the handle's been epoxied on this, and it's a spear point. This is what this is. And it has a Scandinavian grind. It came straight. The fit and finish on this was okay. It fits in the sheath really well. No rattling, doesn't come out. The only thing I didn't like about this knife, it did come with a partial ding in the edge right there. Sort of hit and miss with these type of knives. You might get a perfect one in the mail, or you might get one with heat treatment fractures in it, but it doesn't really matter. They still work even if you had a heat treat fracture in it. This is more of a companion type of knife, not really a hard use knife, but you can. It's a great survival bushcraft knife. We're going to test it out and see how she goes. Then we're going to test out the Bear Grylls waterproof survival 1/8 inch diameter ferroceruim rod with some fat wood. First test we're going to do is make a tent peg. See how quick it makes a tent peg for you. It bites pretty deep. It's not bad so far. It doesn't bite as deep as a mora maybe. Mora's, I think that my mora has better bite in it than this. It's not bad. It carved pretty good. We're going to see how it strips bark with the 90-degree spine. It's maybe a mora. We need to sharpen the spine down, but it did take the bark off. We're gonna try a press notch to make a tent peg here. Okay, and now we're gonna press to see how good it presses in to make a tent peg. Or a trap notch. So you can make a notch for a snare trap. As you can see, it's doing fairly well. It's digging in deep. And it notches fairly well. Makes a decent notch. It's not the perfect tent peg I've ever made, but there you go. It notches fairly well, and this is some pretty soft wood. Carves pretty good, makes a good notch. Try some test chops with this hard wood right here. This is apple wood, and if it holds up to the test chop in here, it should be a decent knife if it holds up. There you go. Chopped it right in half. Okay, we got... Well, I'll tell you what, though, it didn't ding the edge, but it surely made it dull. Duller than it already was. My mora stayed sharp after cutting this hard wood. This one cut it clear across, better than the mora did, but it did get really dull, so you're gonna have to like maybe resharpen it after. We're gonna do a few batons of this to show you how it holds up in batoning. We're gonna baton this hard wood right here. Batons fairly well. That hard wood, it went right through it. Try another piece of hard wood here. Baton's fairly good. It batoned right through that hardwood. Here, real quick, softer wood. There you go. You gotta twist the blade when you baton so you don't go too far in there and it pops the wood. So there you go. And we're gonna baton something a little bit thicker here. And twist, and there you go. Okay, now we're going to see how it, some more baton in here. Works pretty good. Let's see how this knife performs on a really hard wood. In feather sticking, after all that, it's really considerably dull than it first was, so let's see how it performs. And this is really, really hard wood. There you go. It bites okay in hardwood, but it doesn't do as good of a job in this hardwood as the mora did. The mora actually excelled going through the hardwood. It did work, but not as good. So that's a low mark on this knife, going through harder wood. It may be different through softer wood. We'll try that to make the tinder bundle. But you know, it does score a low mark in using it feather sticking with harder wood like this. It does carve the harder wood okay. As you can see right here, it carves it really well. But trying to feather stick it was another thing entirely. Okay, we got a nice piece of softwood here, which I like to use as tinder wood. This is a tulip poplar piece of wood. As you can see, it doesn't do really a good job making feather sticks like the mora did. It's okay, I guess. It's not the best knife I've ever used. There you go. It's not all that great. I mean, the mora made finer feather sticks than this knife does. I mean, it works for what it is. But it's not as sharp as a mora. So keep that in mind. This is not a mora. Let's try some pine. See how it cut feather sticks in pine here. This is spruce pine. I harvested up in the woods. It's a great tinder material. Yeah, there you go. It worked a little bit better on this bigger piece of pine. Make this nice tinder bundle here for the fire. Makes good, decent kindling with this. Like I said, if you wanted to maybe split this piece of wood, like, you know, stick it into the wood like this, and you somehow wanted to pop it off. This wood here is a lot lighter. It's more of a core-based wood. You know, try some more of this pine wood here. There you go. It's not all that great at making feather sticks. It's already gotten duller than the mora did during the testing. So, I mean, it's not bad for what it is. No disforming on the edge from the batoning and the feather sticking, so it's still okay. Now we're going to try a piece of fat wood here as the last go round. We're going to try feather sticking the fat wood to make tinder. There you go, folks. It did pretty good feather sticking on the fat wood. Normally you wouldn't have to do this with fat wood. Try the 90-degree spine on the fat wood. Wow. It made great Maya dust spine. That is a plus on this knife. And now we're going to try the inch Bear Grylls Survival ferroceruim rod on this. It's got the ground signal thing on the bottom here, so you could how many numbers you can put on the ground with some stones for ground signaling purposes. When I first got it, it came with a booklet, survival booklet, and it worked, and it was pretty okay. It has like another, survival signal right here where you can put your hands in a Y shape. When you see a helicopter or something, it means help. And we're going to try it out on this. Okay, there you go. It's not as good as a Nathan 4071 ferroceruim rod, but it works. Doesn't work well, but it works. Well, folks, I hope you liked the review on the Bush Lure and the Nathan Bear Grylls Survival Ferroceruim Rod. If you like it, please give me a like on this video and a thumbs up and a share if you want. I'd recommend this knife as maybe a good camp knife, but not a decent camp knife, good survival knife. It's not bad. It's tough. It might be a little bit more tougher than a mora. The blade did go a lot duller quicker than a mora did in the field testing it. So I gotta constantly keep the thing sharpened after use. So yeah, it's not bad. You could probably carve up a deer with it, you know, process animals, firewood, stuff like that. Well, folks, this is okay knife. Get it if you want. It held up to that test. So if you like the 1075 carbon steel full tang bush lord, get it. It's okay. It's a bit of okay. Sort of like a love-hate relationship. If you like it, get it. If you don't have to. There's other knives on the market that might be more your fancy. Well, folks, this has been your old pal Hondo on the Bear Grylls ferroceruim rod, survival ferroceruim rod, and the condor bush lord. If you like it, give me a thumbs up. And you know what you do. You put God first. He puts you first every time. And you know what else, YouTube? God loves you. So does Hondo. Peace out.
Yeah.